Hey guys, so we are back. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is Maria. This is the Sweet Karma Bar, and every week I do a new video. So today we're gonna do a video working with mirror, and I have this beautiful vintage mirror, and I'm not making it anymore, just like I said in my last video about other glass that I use. It's seriously, it's plaguing me. And this week is going to be on my ram window styled piece. The first one I did, I'll insert a picture if I can figure it out, was like a pastel ram, and I loved it so much. And then someone was like, hey, what about a golden ram? I was like, you are a genius. Yes, let's do it. I was really excited because obviously gold, glass, hard to find, but if you're going to work with mirror, they have all sorts of colored mirrors. This kind though, they don't make anymore. But I have it right here. And actually I blew through a lot of it. One ram's horn went perfect, the next one, but you know, if I'm being honest with you, it was a disaster. It was like, I kept breaking it, I'm not gonna lie. So this was much bigger when I started the project. So here it is, look how pretty it is. It's got like this, this texture to it. This is like considered a silver coated mirror. It's by Spectrum, which are not available anymore. So if you find any of this colored glass, you get it. They have all different colors. They have like champagne and blues, and I have a bunch. It's like now that they don't make it anymore, I'm like, you know, it's like my coveted. Do I save it? Anyway, so this was like the perfect time to use it. Golden, sorry, my son just got out of school, so gotta focus on that phone. Golden horns, how perfect, right? And then her face is iridescent white. You know, if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, then you already know that I am a sucker for mixing textures. So, oh my God, are you gonna be able to see this? It is like a really cool, pretty, it's called Tapestry. So if you guys want to find it, it's called Tapestry. And this one is called Glue Chip, which I hate that name, but it is so pretty. It looks like something from Frozen. I'm still getting used to this whole focus thing, but it is pretty. It's pretty. It's like a frosty, magical glass. And then I use some other ones. But when you work with mirror, obviously one side is not that cute. You know, this one's blue. That really throws off my design. And sometimes, you know, especially if you're going to patina or flux, it will give your mirror this cloudy, antique-y finish, which can really throw a wrench in your plans if you have a vision for your piece and then it looks all cloudy underneath, and it will take away from the coloring. It basically eats away at the foil. So what I do when I work with a mirror is I will put some sort of lacquer. If the piece is really small, I'll just use clear nail polish. But actually, a lot of my mirror has this kind of crazy ass color backing. So what I do is just spray paint it with some pretty colors. And then you just want to be careful. You don't want to go too thick on the spray paint because the heat from your iron could, you know, cause it to bubble. But but you don't want the back, you want the back to be cute, you know? So that's what I do. Spray painter, I'll use a gel flux just to make sure, especially when you're working with this vintage mirror. It's like if you don't want to mess it up, if that's all you got, it might be all you can find. So here we go.
All right, so first order of business is to make sure when I start a new design, I really love a clean workspace. There's so much glass here, but honestly, I do this every day and I save all my glass pieces. So one of these days, I'm gonna have to do an epic mosaic piece for you guys. I think it'll be so much fun. So here is the design, which I absolutely love. As I showed you, the other one was much bigger. It was a rectangle style window, but this is a squared version of it. And when I drew out the ram's skull, I made sure to kind of draw my lines where I could actually cut out the entire skull in one piece. And this is nice to do if you can when you're like drawing your patterns, because it really enables you to, one, be super efficient with your glass, but also, especially if you're using the same type of glass like I am here, it's nice and easy and all your cuts will fit nice and snug. This glass is one of my faves. I really love it. It is this like opalescent, holographic, magical goodness. It reminds me of unicorns and rainbows, and I love it. So you can see here that each piece, I mean, it just pops right off. So this hardly needs any grinding because I drew it all so that I could cut it in one piece. It hardly needs any grinding and it fits together perfectly. Now, of course, that doesn't work with a lot of designs that I do because I like to mix and match textures, or maybe there's like a pattern in the glass, like a pretty swirl that I want to get in. But when I know I'm going to use like all one color and it doesn't have any details really in the glass, then I try to cut it out in one piece if I can. Alright, so now it's time for me to cut out the back. And like I said, I absolutely love mixing textures. It's one of like my styles on a lot of my work. I really love it. It reminds me of like a quilted patchwork type of design. And clear glass is probably one of my favorites. They have so many details to them. In this specific piece, I have, I believe, 4 different kinds of clear glass. But when I do it, of course, I make sure to flip my pattern over because I want to draw on the flattest side of my glass, which is the back. So I want to make sure those textures are in the front, of course. So that's why you see me flip my pattern upside down. And I also make sure to cut the pattern in a certain way. The textures will be mirroring each other. So everywhere you see a texture, there'll be the exact texture going in the exact same direction on the other side. So I really want to make sure I sync that up. And these background pieces are pretty much nice straight lines, so most of it is easy to cut except these curves. These curves are killer. You can get some amazing deep cuts by hand, no saw needed. Not that there's anything wrong with saws, but there's just something about, that satisfaction of doing it yourself. So this is how I cut inside my deep curves. I usually cut, or I score that line that I drew, but then I do a bunch of little scores inside of that in all different directions. And this really enables me to take my pliers, you can see there, it's just like all scratchy, all crazy, but this is gonna make it super easy for me to pick apart, especially since I have that really vulnerable piece right there, that skinny piece at the top, that is just like asking to break on me. So I really support it with my fingers. As I go down, I move my hand down and support right around where I'm trying to break the glass. But I just do it just a little piece at a time. And it does take patience. And you can find yourself getting a little frustrated just trying to rush it, but don't. Just breathe and enjoy it, and you can absolutely get some beautiful, beautiful deep cuts in with this type of technique. See? She's pretty, and that piece at the top didn't break. Alright, so it's time to cut my mirror, and unfortunately with my mirror I am not able to use my glorious light pad that I love so much. So what I need to do is I need to make a template for my ram horns. And because I'm gonna need to put my template on top of the glass to trace around it. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm just folding a piece of paper, I'm drawing out the design, and then I'm going to use some tape. And I'm gonna tape it on both sides, and this is gonna enable it to be like nice and sturdy, because you'll find yourself when you're drawing your pattern onto your glass, sometimes it can be a little finicky, especially if you're just using a thin piece of paper. It'll move on you, and you really want to get this as accurate as you can. So I do this all the time. I will just trace my pattern onto a piece of paper, fold it in half, and then basically kind of laminate it, and that just makes it a little tougher, a little stronger, and it's great because you can always use it for later if you remake the piece. So you see how big my glass is here versus when I showed you guys earlier. I blew through a lot of this baby. Being careful to make sure my pattern doesn't slide around. I want this to be as accurate as I can and as clean of a cut that I can get it. I don't want to really waste this glass, of course. And it's a little bit harder to grind. Sometimes when you grind mirror, you'll find that you grind off pieces of the back, which is the foil. So if you do that, you'll see it in the front. So I make sure to take extra kind of careful time when dealing with any sort of mirror for that reason. You also have to be careful because if you have any glass pieces at all, even just like dust type pieces, it can scratch that backing, that foil. So I have to be careful of that. But here's another example of me kind of cutting this deep kind of curve and just going in and inching my way in over and over and over again. It's quite relaxing, and you feel so good about yourself when you get these deep cuts. It's honestly so fun, except when you don't get them, and then it's super frustrating and you just want to freak out, but it's all worth it once you get the hang of it. So don't beat yourself up too much. You'll get there, you'll get there. Like I said before, this mirror, she gave me a lot of trouble. She really did. Sometimes I think it's a lot to do mentally because I know this is all I have and I don't want to waste it all. And so I think sometimes when you kind of work yourself up, you can tend to like self-sabotage in a sense. So one of the sides went totally perfect, totally smooth. The other side went crazy. I must have cut out at least 3 of one of the sides of the horns, but though she was a nightmare, it is possible for you guys to do just by inching your way in. So here she is. This is the rough cut. So see, look at the skull. She fits together perfectly. That's what's so awesome if you can design your pattern in one piece where you're able to cut it all out of one piece. It's just like flawless. But it's time to grind her and foil her. Okay, so the first thing I gotta do is protect my mirror. And how I do that is I just very carefully, I did 2 coats of these. I like to go in one direction, let it dry, and go in the other direction. But you want to make sure that it's really hitting the edges. That's really where you're trying to protect the most. But of course, I'm also doing this for like aesthetic purposes. I really want the back of the mirror to be pretty. And here she is, right? How cute! Much better than the blue, much better than the blue. I love this bronzy finish color. I think it matches beautifully, and it's nice and smooth. It's not bubbly, and I got that by just going very, very light, but doing a couple coats. So I love it. I love it. And now it's time to get her soldered. And she's all foiled up. It's time to put her together. She's looking super cute. You see those textures? How pretty are they? That's like my favorite texture ever. But I do love this icy one too. I mean, I'll probably say this about like every glass I talk about. I feel like so far I've done that, but I mean it. So that's all that matters, because they are all so pretty. It's hard to go wrong when there's such pretty glass out there, you know, even if your design, even if you're not a fan of your design, at the end when you make it, you're like, you know what, this is cute. So here she is. I love how pieces look when they're all foiled. They're just beautiful, and I'll end up copper patinaing a piece just because I love how it looks when it's foiled. But here she is. She's all snug as a bug, ready to get tacked and soldered. Crazy about how these came out. I have a ton of other window pieces in line that I can't wait to do with you guys. So I hope this helps you. Sending you guys big love, and till next time.
So if you want to see how we make the RAM window, then keep watching. Also, but it's still cute. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, comment, and yeah, we'll do a video every week. So. Oh, do you like my lights? I just got these. I think they're cute. They make a nice backdrop. Okay guys, so if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Follow the tribe on Instagram. We have a great community over there. Everybody supports each other. If you made a piece inspired by any of the videos that you've seen, please tag me. I would love to see them.